All right, welcome back to Denoisies. This episode, we're going to talk about our 2026 AI predictions.
Yes, sir. Yeah, there's a lot going on that we will completely regret saying.
We will check this out in a year. Let's get into it. All right. Hello, Addy.
Hey.
I don't know when this will be out, so maybe I'll say fake Happy New Year's or fake or an upcoming Happy New Year.
Yeah, we're in a very rainy season here in LA, and I feel festive, and I thank you for doing 80 plus episodes with me.
Oh, yeah, it's been great.
Yeah,
it's been a good year.
Okay.
And here's to 80 more or 100 more.
800, man.
Yeah, we're not turning our podcast into an AI-generated podcast.
No.
Yet.
We're going to.
All right, so I've got a board you can follow along on the visuals with, but we'll talk about everything here. So we're going to do our predictions. We each kind of have our own batch predictions. We don't know what each other predicted. And we're going to kind of go through three levels of super confident, like, yeah, pretty much sure bet that this will happen in 2026. Very likely. And then long shot.
Yep.
So yeah, we'll start with the super confident stuff.
All right, my first prediction for 2026, which I'll be wrong about. Just kidding. I'm super confident about this, is Comfy UI will get acquired by someone major.
You know, since I have something similar, but I have that same one, but I have it for very likely.
Yeah, so we talked about Invoke and Weavy getting acquired by Adobe and Figma. And I mean,
we've also talked about how we're not entirely sure how Comfy makes money.
Yeah, but like and we also covered in our end of year episode, like how much it's sort of grown in popularity amongst hobbyists and people that are, you know, between an amateur and a professional.
Or even pros. Just
even
like
pros.
As sort of the, I mean, I remember months ago at a meetup, someone was like, I've been in VFX, like, you know, this feels like the next iteration of Nuke.
That's powerful. That's a powerful thing to say. Yeah, because Nuke didn't get there overnight. Nuke is like, you know, 20, 30 years into what it is today. So the fact that Comfy is being accepted as a tool is enormous weight and sort of legitimacy to the tool that it is. So I think somebody to acquire it, maybe it is AWS or Azure, you know, Microsoft or Google.
Oh, you think it would be one of those?
Yeah, because it is a big cloud play. And like their cloud thing, their implementation of it is okay, but I think it could use the touch of a bigger company.
Yeah. I mean, my guesses were of like who might acquire it. Foundry, which makes Nuke. And maybe they, you know, it's like the next iteration. I mean, they spent a lot of time building out the stage.
The virtual production tool.
Yeah. Which might have been a little bit too late after.
They're too late to the party.
The party for virtual production.
It's like walking into a New Year's party at like 1 a.m. Right. You're like, oh, what happened?
But I mean, I know it solved some issues that in the VP land, but you know, maybe it's like, okay, hey, let's get in on this.
Yeah.
And it already has a lot of very similarities to what, you know, Nuke is and could have really good integration.
Sure.
Or Autodesk, which does Maya. They acquired Wonder Dynamics, the AI.
God, I hope not.
Character animator.
It'll just go there to die. Yeah, you know, we need Comfy to proliferate, somebody that truly makes it grow beyond what it is today, not just acquire it and hold it.
Keeps the open source foundation going, because like the thing that makes it so powerful is there's just such a huge community of people building nodes and plugins and additional features that like make it so customizable and powerful.
Yeah. Comfy Anonymous, if you're out there, if you're listening, would love to have you on the show.
Comfy Anonymous. He's a comfy. He's a toy. He's a comfy. I'm trying to make a Bitcoin joke, but I can't think of it.
Satoshi.
It's Satoshi, but it's a comfy.
He's not so anonymous. He's been on other podcasts. I just don't know his name.
All right, let's see. So I had that as a very likely, so I'm more middle confident about that one. Let me go with one of my super confident ones. Real-time video with AI. So I think that we'll get some, I mean, I know we sort of have Korea-ish, but I think we'll get something better that is very much real time, like a Veo 3, but like stuff's happening in real time that we're able to, you don't have to sit around for a minute and wait for stuff to generate, but like.
You think that in 2026, we're going to get some type of model that's legitimately real time? Yeah,
where you're generating video, you can see stuff happening, modify in real time.
Do you think it's going to be local or cloud-based?
Cloud.
Yeah.
I don't think that's
not enough juice.
I don't think we could do that locally.
Okay.
But yeah, some sort of real-time video.
Nice. Okay. For super confident, I think in 2026, we're finally going to see what I call a VFX model. Think of it as like a Kling 01 on steroids, Runway Aleph on steroids. One that can actually do real VFX.
What does that mean?
So like give it, in this image that I have here, like give it a green screen input from a camera, like from your image. And just like a VFX department, you're doing a pull and a push. You're pulling original imagery, you're modifying it, adding background, relighting, adding costume, removing wires, whatever, what have you, all the VFX stuff. And then you're pushing it back out into your edit.
But with the original quality, with all of that stuff. Because that's right. We could sort of do that now, but then you're getting this 8-bit HD crushed file.
Yeah, and Luma does a little bit of like savior on that side with Ray 3.
Sort of, yeah.
But dude, the incoming frames are like 4K, 8K, right? Like they're huge.
Yeah.
So you gotta make the adjustments at a pixel level and then unmodify the original image.
Yeah. I mean, I think the closest we've seen now of something that kind of works like this is Beeble.
Yes.
Beeble will take your footage. It will create, your PBR maps and like all of the layers for VFX, but then you still have to composite it traditionally, but it gives you the info and the tools you need, but it's non-destructive. You're not...
Yeah,
you're
not regenerating it.
Yeah, you're able to keep your original camera files and work with that. And they also just launched a Nuke plugin. But
like Runway Aleph was the first one that we're like, oh shit, you can do real VFX. Kling 01, you're like, oh, this is better. 2026, we're going to see one or two models that are being like, okay, it's here.
Yeah, it's like I want a Kling 01 that gives me back the same source material that I gave it. Yeah. Because that's still the weak link in the chain where it's like, oh, cool, I can give all this stuff and I can make it look cool, but it's like making it look cool. Like it's taking my 8K footage and like compressing it to this.
I've seen demo videos and demo like comfy UI workflows of some VFX that's done like that, but to actually have a productized thing anybody can do. Okay. That's the part that is yet to come. But super confident that it'll get
You think that super confident?
Yeah. We'll have that 1 year is such a long time.
I know. That's yeah. All right. What else I got? Super confident, more control options, and just how we work with AI, like just getting rid of or beyond text prompts. So whether that is some virtual camera control or joystick, or I mean, this ties into my real-time video thing as well, but just more options, more tools. We kind of saw that a little bit with like what Moon Valley was trying to do, but just more ways to, control video or outputs that is not just text-based.
I think that's a valid assumption for next year. We're already seeing glimpses of that, right? Like Beeble, we just talked about. Beeble is a non-text based.
Right. And Beeble is like it's a tool to analyze some footage you shot. But even Adobe Firefly in their new model, they have a feature where you can upload a camera movement and you give it a first frame, you give it your camera footage, and then it, depending on the camera movement,
figures out the...
I had some, if it was a very moderate camera movement, I had one where I was pushing in and then like tilted up and it did that. Great. So stuff like that. If we do stuff like that with real-time video, even better.
Oh my God. I can't imagine. That's powerful. I
just want the two of these to be happening at the same time.
So you can blow up this image if you like. I just generated on Nano Banana Pro. Okay. Wanted to get the most photoreal person that I could generate. The reason I did that, my prediction, and I'm super confident about, is we're going to see an image model that's going to be able to generate stuff that is visually indistinguishable from reality. Like uncanny valley.
I feel like we're kind of there. Like we're just about there.
Exactly. Yeah. You're saying we're 96% there.
I mean, it depends on the image.
I'm saying 100% there.
Yeah.
So like if you look at this photo, it just happened to be like the right angle, the right person with the, like asymmetry in the face and all that stuff that makes somebody real. We're going to see a model output reality consistently.
Okay.
Every time. Yeah. It'd probably be Nano Banana Pro 2. I don't know.
I have a question, or we could make a bet. So we know there's going to be, new Veo models.
Yeah.
How high of a number do you think we'll get by the end of next year? I think we'll have Veo 5.
Yeah, you sound like that one guy that's like, oh, Google already has Veo 7, 8, and 9.
Okay, well, I'm not going to talk about
I've seen it.
I'm not going to talk about crap I don't know about. But I'm just going to guess, like, obviously we know Veo 4 is going to come probably beginning of the year. And then I'm going to guess, like, maybe a few months later, we'll get a Veo 4.5. I think by the end of the year, we'll have a Veo 5. I don't know if we'll have a Veo 6.
I think every 6 months, a new Veo sounds good enough to me. Yeah, like if you look at like Unreal Engine versions, it's like 1 a quarter. Something like that. Or,
yeah, they've been shipping a lot.
Yeah, so 3 a year.
New decimal.
Yeah. It depends on how aggressive Google invests into Veo. You know, if the team gets bigger, they add more researchers, whatever, like we're going to see it faster.
Or if they merge it with some other stuff, which are some of my other predictions.
Right.
Oh, okay. This one more in the social ad space, kind of video space, UGC-ish content. AI is just going to take over or be a big part of it, and no one's going to care or know.
You're talking about like a TikTok or Instagram.
Yeah, like short vertical ads that, you get like in vertical content.
I'll agree with you on that one. Yeah, I think nobody's going to care.
I think it's like good enough where you can't. Like right now, I get they're clearly AI generated ads, and the voice is weird, and the performance is weird. I think it's going to get so good that it just you can't even tell it's fake or not or whatever. Just like an AI generated person,
and it flashes by you so fast. Like within 10 seconds, you've consumed it, and scrolling up, going to the next one.
Yeah, right. And I don't think people are going to know or care.
Yeah, it goes hand in hand with my predictions for photoreal image model as well as the VFX model on steroids. Like I think all those things will play together in giving you this capability.
Yeah. You got any more super confident ones?
Do you know what this photo is that I'm putting in here?
Black hole?
No, it's the at the end of the last Matrix. It's the AI overlord. Like it comes out of face of a baby.
Which last Matrix are you? The third one or the fourth one?
The third one.
I only saw that one.
Is it Revelations or was it Revolution? Revolution. The reason I put that up there is, and this is probably obvious to most of our viewers, I don't think we're going to have AGI next year.
But we're going to have an AI baby?
The AI babies, the ASI, artificial super intelligence, that we're not going to have probably for decades.
Okay. So what is the prediction?
My prediction, and I'm super confident about, is we're not going to have artificial general intelligence in 2026.
So like we need an X on this baby or something?
Yes, please. So the reason I say that, and I'm sure a lot of you are following sort of Ilya Sutskever and some of the big names, Jeffrey Hinton, and some of the big names in the AGI world. Thank you for that.
No baby
next year. The architecture on which we're basing LLMs on is fundamentally not going to get us to AGI. And we have to invent a new way of building that neural network, which is yet to come. I'm sure in some research lab somewhere in one of those big tech companies, they're experimenting with new architecture. But for that to come into fruition, get trained on billions of parameters, trillions of parameters, then come out as like a product everybody can use, like that's going to be way beyond 1 year.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
Okay.
And my last one of very likely, I think that there's going to be sort of this bounce back of like just so much AI generated stuff and this side of kind of question of like what's real, what's fake, what was like human crafted, not human crafted, that there'll be a resurgence in the make things craftsmanship thing that we sort of had like in 2012, 2014, the kind of hipster.
Like the whole hipster movement was that.
Which was, like, I'm going to get re-merge printing presses and letterpress soap. And handmade soap and Canada, all that stuff.
That's how Etsy was born. And
So I think there's going to be another comeback of that. And this bounce back, this sort of like counter reaction to just everything you see online.
You're talking specifically about media and entertainment, like visuals and imagery.
Not even. I mean, I think people's consumption of, or like how they spend their time or what they want to do and just interest in stuff in general.
Yeah.
This interest in more resurgence interest in maybe getting off some of the social media feeds and doing more handcrafted stuff or getting more into handcrafted
I'm all
stuff.
for it. I think especially anybody younger than 25, like go for it. You know, there's a big resurgence in finding used DVDs, Blu-ray, CDs now. Yeah. Like it's a big market.
I mean, I remember when I was younger and I got into like vinyl records and stuff, and it was like, and then my like parents are like, "What the hell do you care about this stuff for? Like, this is old," and it's like, "Oh, that's cool."
Yeah,
I didn't have it.
There are kids that are now going into like really obscure formats like mini disc and all the stuff.
Like the stuff that just never took off, like Laserdisc.
Yeah, like I love that. Like, yes, there is absolutely value in tangible goods, physical goods, and associating that with art.
Yeah.
So I think we lost that as a humanity.
Maybe specifically to media entertainment, there will be a more of a fun reemergence of just like stop motion and other types of handcrafted filmmaking techniques.
2D animation.
Hand sketch 2D. Yeah. So, I mean, I would expect a lot of this stuff to also have sort of a comeback as a rebound to just being inundated with AI stuff.
Maybe you might be a trendsetter here, stating something way ahead of...
You heard it first.
Yeah.
We're going to be like the Pantone, and we'll set the color for the year.
Yeah.
Okay. Very likely.
All right. Very likely. For me, so this goes hand in hand with my AGI prediction. I think next year we're going to see a market correction of the Nvidia stock and just the Nvidia ecosystem in general. They're on a roll. They're a $5 trillion company. They grew like $2 trillion in like 3 months. Insane growth. Nobody's seen this level of growth in commerce ever. So I think we're going to see a correction in that.
Not investment advice. We're not an investment podcast.
Yes, we're not an investment podcast. If you listen to us, you're screwed. So do not listen to us. I think the minute the public realizes like AGI really is 5 to 10 years away, you're going to see a significant correction. Like I just read the Walmart article today that they are freezing hiring for the next 3 years.
Oh, really? I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's because they're just like, yeah, we don't need to because AI will be ready by then, and we don't. The people we have is the people, which is so bleak, right?
Yeah.
So when AGI doesn't come through in 12 months, Walmart will probably be like, shit, it turns out we need to hire more people if we want to grow as a company.
I feel like we already had the cycle a year ago or whenever the companies were like, wait to be AI first and, we're going to automate all these processes. Yeah. And then they realized now it's like, not as robust as we thought.
We are seeing inklings of that crumble, but I think we're going to see not a major crumble, but a significant one next year where things will be kind of adjusted, calibrated back to reality. And I'm just using Nvidia as an example is because they are one of the biggest player, if not the biggest player.
Yeah, I mean, they're big. Yeah, I mean, like everything needs the chips. And there are other companies trying to do chips and though it's not just
like
Nvidia
no knock
chips.
on Nvidia. Like, everything that we are doing in the AI world today, I think a lot of it is attributed to their innovation, Jensen's vision from 20, 30 years ago.
I know, and they're just relentless focus on this they were not like an overnight success.
They have zero competition in the market. That's how ahead they are.
Yeah. They've just been doing this for a long time.
So they deserve the success. I just think it's a little bit overinflated around AGI, which we're going to see a correction of.
Mm-hmm. My very likely, I had the comfy one. My other one is, I think, the AI training lawsuits are just like what can get trained on. It either gets sorted out, they strike deals, or it just becomes a non-issue, like with the Anthropic case, where that kind of basically said if they bought the books and trained on the books, it falls under fair use.
Right.
I think next year, like that'll get clarified, sorted out, whatever. Something will happen that it'll just be like, okay, like how models are trained is not as much of an issue. What you do with the models, still an issue. And how you use them. The outputs, more focus on that and IP infringement and stuff like that. But the training stuff, resolved, settled.
I couldn't agree with you more. Like, I think the fact that like today, Firefly has a leg up on other models because it's quote unquote ethical. It's trained on licensed data.
Yeah, them and Moon Valley.
That'll matter less and less as the line shift towards publicly available data.
I think people and creatives are just going to be like, the training, cool, maybe for the stopgap right now when everything's uncertain, but ultimately it's going to be like, is this model good? Can I get good stuff out of it? And if you can't, then it's not as strong as what you need it for. Yeah,
there's been several lawsuits that favored AI companies over the training data right holder. Mm-hmm. And every one of those victories is helping the AI industry in achieving success with publicly available data. Yeah, and also just getting companies and partners and clients on board, feeling more comfortable to utilize the tools because the legal hurdles are more like, it's just getting better. There's less. I don't think it'll be fully sorted in 26, but we're certainly going to see a shift into the direction of getting sorted. Yeah. So I just threw a picture of DeepSeek on there. Nothing to do with DeepSeek. My prediction, because I couldn't find a better image for this prediction, there's going to be a Chinese model, and it has to be Chinese because it's always out of the left field. I don't know. It could be a South Korean model.
I don't know. Get a new country on the map.
There's going to be a model that is a non-US based company that's going to offer the same level of image video generation as a Veo or a Sora, as the big boys, but with a super lightweight mode. So like it's going to be comfy UI, friendly, probably open source, probably less than 40 gigabytes or whatever. Right. It's just anybody can download it, but then it just gives you incredible results.
Okay.
So it's the DeepSeek moment for image and video.
So, sort of like the next gen of like WAN 2.2. That's probably the closest we got right now, where it's like open source. It's pretty good. We run it locally.
Yeah, it's not pretty good, but it's not as good as
VO3.
Yeah, I think what I'm trying to say is like it's going to challenge the notion of like, are the big boys the only ones that can make this?
Do you think that's even feasible though? Because even with Alibaba and WAN, the next versions have been 2.5, 2.6, and those have to run on the cloud.
Right, they have gone API, yeah.
So you think it's technically even possible for like a VO3 level quality model to run locally?
I think with a different architecture,
the computers just have to get better too.
And they will, right? Yeah. Like we're always getting better with GPU and compute. But with that aside, I think the image and video architecture will shift faster than LLM architecture. And when the architecture shifts, you have new leaps and bounds in efficiency. Mm-hmm. What 10 GPU can do yesterday, now 1 GPU can do because this model just runs leaner.
Right.
We'll see something like that in the image and video world next year.
I mean, that could also be, because I'm wondering too, is like, well, does it really matter if like I run on my computer versus like spinning up in the cloud? But the cool application of this could be something that's lightweight enough to run locally, maybe not for your computer, but for your hardware, which goes into the real-time video camera or that kind of stuff. So like a model that could run on the camera.
Yeah.
You're filming, you get real-time previs or something that it's like just happening on your handheld device and you don't have to like have a separate CPU processing all of your stuff.
Yeah, I mean, some of the Apple models are sort of along that line.
I mean,
so
that's where they're kind of going
the trick is to not rely on NVIDIA's CUDA architecture. Mm-hmm. So then when you rely on general CPU architecture, like anybody's CPU, Intel, ARM, whatever, and if you can run your model on that, then it goes on a red camera or a Venice camera or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. What if you get your real-time previs as you're filming it?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, that'd be cool. Maybe that part would be in long shot for next year. That's good. I got another long shot because I was trying to think of long shots because I'm like, it's so hard to pick long shots because like everything is probably going to happen. Like,
I've got some long shots.
Okay, I'm excited to hear your long shots. All right, my mid, very likely. I think we'll get an AI animated feature. Qualifying bar for this, because obviously I know we'll get a bunch of AI animated stuff that'll appear online, but something that gets into like a main festival or a major streamer.
Wow.
Animation is going to be the first to sort of really be
for sure
heavily lifted with this. I think it's such a fuzzy line of like, how do you define it as like AI animated? But like AI, I'm defining it as something like AI was very, very heavily in the process for like a lot of the in-betweener stuff and generating shots.
Yeah, maybe you do a base pass with computer graphics, like all the animation's done with computer graphics, and then AI comes in, adds VFX and photorealism or style.
Yeah, or it's like a very kind of a much more lo-fi Blender layout of the scene, and AI enhances it and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know, something that where AI, like, it wouldn't have been possible without AI tools at the budget and the time frame that they did.
Yeah, like Flow, the movie
also,
Flow.
I mean, well, I guess if they pull it off, I guess this is sort of this would be a very likely with if Critters gets pulled off from
Is that the OpenAI movie?
I totally forgot about this as I was doing this, as I was planning this out. But I can't remember the name of the studio, but yeah, the OpenAI partnership with Nick and his studio. But Critters was the animated short.
Yeah.
OpenAI partnership that they're going to do an animated feature that's going to premiere at Cannes. I forgot about that before when I was doing this. So that would put it in the highly likely category. But yeah, I still think mid-level, likely a very heavily AI animated feature film.
I love that prediction. And I don't think it'll be like a $30 million budget. I think it'll be like less than $1 million.
That was right. That was the other part about that was, fuzzy. I think that's a good threshold line too. Something that is, in the million
and under, 2
range,
or 3 people.
Yeah.
Somewhere
a
in
flow. A flow, but done next year.
I think were those guys like Lithuanian or
Lithuanian?
Like, they were foreign.
Yeah, it was like 10 of them, and it was
done in Blender,
and it was like, I don't know, 4 million, but it took them like, or maybe it was a little less than that, but it took them like 4 or 5 years to do. So something like that done in a year.
Yeah. It's probably halfway done already, and we're going to see it next year.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
What else you got?
All right. So for very likely, I have Unity and Unreal partnership, or perhaps Unreal buying Unity.
Oh, okay. Or Epic buying Unity.
Epic buying Unity.
I think they got like an antitrust thing with that.
Yeah, but I'm sure you can pay off some government official. Yeah. So my reasoning behind the prediction is look, 3-4 years ago, it was unfathomable for Unity and Unreal to partner up with anything. They were fierce rivals, fierce competitors. They're both massive, massive companies. And since then, they both sort of stagnated a little bit, shrank a little bit. And I'm not going to say they're not doing well. Like Epic is doing incredibly well still. Fortnite's still a big game. But at the same time, there's new players in the field. You've got OpenAI, you've got Google, the media and entertainment, the gaming space is ripe for innovation. So these two companies, I think, are more alike than dissimilar. Mm-hmm. And I actually saw a friend of mine who was at Unity, got let go during the big layoffs at Unity, I think a year back. And now he's at Unreal. So you're part of this really small group of game developer groups, people that make game engines. Mm-hmm. And so I think it would be wise for those two companies to partner up, perhaps the acquisition. Epic is really good at pushing the engine visually and sort of being really ahead of research and development in what traditional computer graphics and real-time rendering can do. Unity is really good at shipping games, especially on the mobile side, right? Something like, I don't know, 1 billion downloads happen a week on Unity platform. Okay, that's great. So you combine those two things together, I think it's a win-win for both companies.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Maybe. Not AI. I think AI has nothing to do with it. This is still playing in the traditional AAA and mobile game space.
So that just might make sense for them to acquire.
Yeah.
All right, my other one for very likely is that we get a new kind of paradigm for video generation or how we work with AI-generated videos. So something in the realm of the world model, the Genie 3 kind of teaser that we saw with Google, where it's generated a world, it's persistent, you can move through it. The only issue is right now, it can only last for a few minutes, but something in that realm, it's more of an expanded version of my real-time video prediction.
Right.
That feels more likely. This would be you're generating a world in real time, you're moving through it, maybe you get your shots, or you kind of can move a virtual camera in this generated space. Or for gaming. Yeah, obviously. Yeah. I'm thinking specific filmmaking applications, but there's a ton gaming, robotics.
Yeah, industrial.
Cars. Yeah, there's a million applications for this. Yeah. In the film sense, generating your world as you're talking through it and getting your shots, your scenes, all that stuff.
I think so. Yeah, I think it's maybe not in the super confident. I think you're right. We're definitely going to see a big one-up in the world model category.
Yeah. That's where all these things are leading to anyway. So I think we'll get some big leaps there in actual usable world models.
And it could be a player like Runway, somebody you're not thinking of.
It could, yeah. I mean, yes.
Chances are it'll probably be a Google.
It'll probably be Google. Yeah. It could be Runway. I mean, I've still had hit or miss with Aleph and the models there. I've had hit or miss with Luma and Ray 3 and their models. Yeah, I mean,
but it sounds like they are working on a world model.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, I still think back to that demo with the voice demo from Cristobal of just speaking in real time and the world modifies based on what you're saying, which I think, I think that is 100% where things are going.
Yeah.
Who will be able to make a usable version of that? First, I don't know.
Yeah, just make it last indefinitely, not 2-3 minutes.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think sustaining that is really, really difficult.
Yeah. My last, very likely, is one of the big-ish AI video model companies gets bought or shuts down. Something in the realm of a Pika or a Crea or LTX, some consolidation or something in that realm of that mid-level kind of AI model companies.
Yeah, we're going to see sort of a withering and a correction in the AI startup world, right? There's a ton of startups, and now we're going to see kind of a adjustment into survival of the fittest.
Yeah, I mean, I also I think that'll also happen with the AI studios that launched, but that's we'll see how that plays out. I mean, there's a bunch of them. I mean, I think even with that Fabric study, there was 60 self-identified AI studios. So, but if something shuts down, is it really a shutdown, or is it just a pivot, or it's just a small production company that pivots to something else?
I could be wrong, but I think it's a lot cheaper to run an AI studio than an AI manufacturing company, one that produces models. because that is incredibly expensive.
Yeah, and that's also why I'm kind of focused more on the model producing companies.
Yeah. Like a Runway or a Pika or a...
Exactly, but they generated their own models.
Right.
I think the ones that haven't gotten as much traction, someone will buy them or they'll just kind of
if you're a small to mid-sized company, like Luma is a good example. And I think I could be wrong, but they have like the Saudi Public Investment Fund funding of $900 million. Like if you have that, you're good. You're going to write it out.
Right.
But if you don't have that, it's probably time to close up shop unless you're making incredible revenue.
Yeah. Or there's some hit or something. Yeah. So we'll see how that plays out.
Okay. Good prediction.
All right. What do you got for long shot?
Okay. So for my long shot, we just talked about AI studios. So, you take like a Wonder Studios or Moon Valley or
Asteria, their studio arm. Yeah.
Yeah. Even like Secret Level or Promise. Yeah. Like these guys are all out there trying to create, like actually make something. Long shot, but I think we're going to see some kind of 90-minute cinema from some of them.
That is a live action-y thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not animation.
That was my long shot prediction too.
Oh shit. Sorry. My bad.
That was my one and only long shot prediction.
Yeah. The reason it's a long shot and not super confident is these guys all have expertise in-house as far as researchers and creatives and directors and cinematographers, but the technology is just not ready.
Yeah, I think, one of the most successful live action-y SAG things is like the, Echo Hunter from
Cave on the Kid.
Yeah. And, even that, it's still like, it's the best that technology can do right now. And it was using real actors and as for driving the performances, but the tech for taking the performance and actually turning it into something on screen is still uncanny valley, not quite there. Yeah, I mean, also it's like, where do you draw the line with what you consider live action versus animation?
Real people.
But real people on screen, or real people, like, would you consider Echo Hunter live action? Because it's like they filmed actors, but everything was ultimately like, it wasn't like live actors blended in the AI world. It was the actors were driving the synthetic performance, which is sort of like, so you could do that as an animation. That's like
Final Fantasy. It's like, it's still an animation
like an
category.
That's like
Avatar. Avatar's an animated movie.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So actual people on screen, and then maybe just everything else is AI generated.
And when I say actual people, that imagery comes from a real camera.
From a real camera. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I think along that line, I think, could be somebody outside of the US, but perhaps your Asteria, Promise, or Wonder, like one of these AI studios will probably make something.
Yeah. I think it's a long shot for next year. And my bar is still kind of the same with the animated feature of like something that is at a major festival or on a major streamer.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure we'll get a lot of stuff appearing on YouTube that blends, people with AI stuff, but an actual feature film that is marketable and like
12 months is a long time. Like, look, and now that we're sitting here in end of 2025, I'm thinking about like you and me back in end of 24, like we're texting each other trying to meet up at CES. We had no idea of the things that we would be covering on a podcast that we have not yet recorded. Like we didn't hit our first episode till like the LA fires, which is
right, because we were talking about the fire. Yeah.
So like a year is a long time in AI.
Yeah, it is a long time. Yeah. But I think it's appropriate. It's a long shot category.
Okay.
What else you got? Because that was my one and only.
All right. I got a couple more long shots. Okay. A long shot, but I think in 2026, we're going to see a neural renderer built into one of the major DCC tools. Okay. Whether it's a Maya or a Blender or perhaps even Unreal, Unity, Houdini, all those tools that are now using traditional ray tracing, bouncing a photon around, capturing that.
Figuring out the math of like what everything's doing.
You'll still see the underlying thing unchanged. So there'll still be a CG model that's rigged and, there's probably a texture on it. But the actual rendering itself will be done through AI. And we may see the first deployment of a large-scale neural renderer.
I like that one, yeah.
Okay.
I feel that feels more likely than long shot.
Okay, it's between long shot and very likely.
Yeah, that feels...
Okay. You could put it in that line.
That feels
in the middle.
plausible. Yeah, okay. We'll put this. We'll move this one up.
Oh, the only reason I made it a long shot is because it's quite an expensive endeavor.
Okay. Yeah, like that it's actually integrated into.
There's a lot of research needed to
a product that everyone that is shipped and usable.
Yeah, and it's got to be better in terms of compute performance and quality than traditional CG, which is a high bar because traditional CG's had 30 years to get good, and it's really good. So if you introduce a neural renderer, it has to look better, it has to be cheaper on a GPU than what a renderer is.
Yeah.
So
okay, that's a good one. I like this one.
All right, I got a couple more long shots. We covered the Suno Warner Music Group partnership in our last episode. So I am predicting that it's a long shot, and I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. But guys, I'm just reporting here, and I don't feel good about saying this. Suno might become ethical. They're going to make more partnerships with more labels. And like Warner Music Group is probably, I don't know, 20, 30% of the music market. You go to Universal Music Group, you go to Spotify, you go to whoever, and you try to capture 75, 80% of the market. All of a sudden, all of your training data is now licensed. And Suno becomes ethical.
So you think that like what they're doing gets the blessing of the music industry or the cooperation?
I look at it the same way like how Napster and LimeWire kind of broke the music industry, and then Apple Music, Pandora, Spotify fixed it in a new way.
Right. Yeah.
So I think Suno both broke it, and they'll kind of fix it in a new way, in a new direction.
But what do you think that's going to look like consumer-wise? Because it's like even now we have some of those like country music bands that are ranking that are AI generated.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Like I feel like the ambient background music is just going to be generated like that.
I think the top artists are still like a Taylor Swift or like Kendrick Lamar. Like you're still going to have human artists as the zeitgeist, as the pop culture beat of the moment. But yeah, we're going to be swimming in a world that's just full of AI background noise.
Yeah.
Like it's undeniable, unavoidable.
I don't know. I feel like it's also already happening.
It's already happening, and this will only accelerate.
Yeah. I mean, that also leads me more to believe my touch graphs make things reverting back to the craft.
Like the artist that plays a real guitar, like a Leonard Skinner type, like that's gonna win out over like very synthetic sounds.
Yeah,
you know,
and maybe another resurgence of like digging up old funky instruments. Like the theremin has a bit of a comeback of people digging up.
I don't know what that is.
Theremin. That's the thing that makes the sound in the 1950s sci-fi movies. And it's like this metal rod that reacts to the proximity of your hand.
Oh, okay.
And so you like kind of wave your hand and make the funky noises.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah. So I think, we'll get these yin and yang of things bouncing back and forth.
Cool.
All right. So
So those are all of our predictions.
Our predictions. Yeah. So there we go. We got our board, our Denoised 2026 prediction board. Work of art.
Beautiful. We're going to regret all of this in 12 months.
Revisit this in 12 months. Yeah. Let us know in the comments if you got any predictions you think we're off, wrong, missing something, or if you got your own predictions. I feel like we're missing some stuff here.
I mean, our audience always has good notes.
Yeah.
Like, we'd love to hear from you. And we'll riff off of that when we do the next episode.
Yeah. When we're back in the year. All right, cool. Yeah. Well, I would normally say links for everything to talk about, but this is all new stuff. So there's not much links, but if you want to subscribe and all that stuff, denoispodcast.com.
Yeah. And we thank you for our very first year of listenership and growing an audience and listening to all of you and having you appreciate what we talk about. I mean, it's so rewarding to do. This is so much fun.
Yeah, I love seeing the comments too, good or bad. It feels like we're having the conversation here, but that everyone else can be part of the conversation.
Yeah. So we thank you, and we hope you have a wonderful 2026.
Yeah, here's to 2026. See you in the next episode.